The supplementation of omega-3 fatty acids is booming. As a matter of fact, the Food and Drug Administration just approved the first omega-3 fatty acid supplement as a drug, totaling sales of over 600 million in the United States, over 1 billion worldwide. What's the research? Suppose I don't want to eat fish or take fish oil. Are there any alternatives? Well, today's program is entitled Alpha and Omega. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome to Abundant Living. This is Curtis Akins, your co-host. I'd like to have my wife introduce herself this time.
His wife at this time.
Okay, and let's put a name on that.
Paula Akins.
Paula Akins,
Yep.
Okay. We have the same last name, so we're married.
Yep.
In holy matrimony.
Yep.
And are you happy with this marriage?
Yep.
Okay, very good. I am too. That's a new hairstyle too, by the way, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh, you had it before?
Yes.
Okay, now I like it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go with Alpha and Omega.
I know. I think we should move on with the Alpha and Omega. Now, you said Alpha and Omega, so can you explain exactly what are you talking about, Alpha and Omega? What do you mean?
Yeah, Alpha and Omega. Again, I'm going to give out some initials, so you may want to write down these initials. But Alpha and Omega, these are different kinds of fats that are found in foods, all right? Very beneficial to the system. Alpha can convert into omega-3 fatty acids. That's why the program is entitled Alpha and Omega, all right? In omega-3 fatty acids, there are certain oils or fats in that group too. And initials, because the words are so long, is really known by initials. One initial is EPA and DHA. Those are the different types of omega-3 fatty acids. Sometimes you'll see those initials on packages, but again, you know that that's an omega-3 fatty acids. EPA, DHA, then of course you have the alpha, which is alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. It does not stand for Alabama. Okay, just want to make sure people understand that. So, but it's been booming, and like I said before, the Food and Drug Administration just a few years ago just approved a drug, omega-3 fatty acids, a supplement as a drug, and it's been booming since the last few years in this country and also worldwide.
So you say based on research. So based on research, what are the benefits of this?
Okay, there's a lot of benefits. Now, most people, when you hear about alpha or omega-3 fatty acids, most people think of heart disease, all right? So let's go to the screen because that is true, but we're going to add more to that than just heart disease as well. But let's go to the screen and see the benefits. Heart healthy, omega-3 fatty acids lower triglycerides, resting heart rate, blood pressure, and improve heart efficiency and vascular function. That's omega-3 fatty acids, all right? So it improves those things there. Now, in addition to that, based on numerous clinical studies, omega-3 fatty acids also inhibits breast tumor growth. Also, it relieves symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. Also, it maintains brain health, impacts as far as long and short-term memory, also dementia, and also some research on Alzheimer's disease. We're talking about omega-3 fatty acids and also alpha, which is converted into omega. That's why the program is Alpha and Omega. So the research is out there, and it's been growing for the last, I guess, 15, 20 years. It's just, I mean, it's just flying off the shelf.
Okay, because that's what I was going to ask the question. That is so it's in supplemental form that people can actually take. That's how it's out there on the marketplace.
Yes.
Along with the fact that it's coming naturally from the fish kingdom. Is that right?
Yes. Well, yeah, fish
but
oil.
There are other but there are other things that's coming from other than just fish. But just bottom line, just kind of talking more about the fish part of it.
Yeah, the fish part of it. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the product is on the market. Okay. What about just eating the fish? why do we need to do the supplements anyway?
Just go to a fast food restaurant and just order a
Just
fish
eat
sandwich.
the fish, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? So you get the fish oil when you eat the fish. Well, there may be some problems with that, okay? Number one, let's first realize that when we eat fish, a lot of the fish that we eat here in the United States are from fish farms. Now, that may not be a good idea.
A fish farm?
Yeah, fish farms, all right?
Okay.
And it's been going on for at least the last 20, 30 years. And a lot of the fish farms are in cold water inlets on the West Coast, well, here in the United States anyway, California, up in Vancouver, British Columbia, along those lines there, fish farms. And they're like 100 by 100, maybe acre, square block, floating in the water. I think we have a picture of a fish farm, and let's go to the screen at this time. And these fish farms are there, and they're packed in like sardines. They're not like swimming upstream, all right? And what happens is that in these fish farms, you have fecal matter, you have sea lice, you have parasites. All that is packed into this container of these fish farms here. And most fish in these fish farms are being raised salmon, about 80%. And a lot of people eat salmon for the omega-3 fatty acids, and most of the salmon is coming from these fish farms that's contaminated with all this filth in these fish farms. So with that, you also have vaccination, all right, and antibiotics. All that's going into the fish tissue itself. So therefore, as one person calls it, floating pig farms. They're packed in like sardines. These are couch potatoes, marine couch potatoes, fish farms. And the thing about it is that normally most fish, or the salmon, they normally feed on krill, K-R-I-L-L, krill. This is a carotenoid, which is mostly orange. So when the fish feed on that, then their flesh is pink. But guess what? They don't feed these fish farms krill. They feed these fish farms catfish, sardines, mackerel, anchovies. So when the fish eat this type of food, their flesh is no longer pink, it's a pale gray. Well, no one's going to buy any salmon that's flesh that's pale gray. So how do they get the salmon's flesh to be pink? There's a pharmaceutical company that actually makes shades of pink that people can order and buy, and they feed this into the fish farms, and therefore it can make their flesh pink. So we go to the store and get this salmon, fish farm, pink flesh, and people will buy it. But it may be a synthetic pigment of pink. And they find out that these fish don't really have as much of the omega-3 fatty acids as once thought. All that's going to the system, fish farms.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be nice.
Okay.
Because more that can be said.
I understand.
But this is very prevalent here in the United States and also worldwide as well, fish farms. And people think, oh, this is safe because it's enclosed, but then that can be also increase the contamination as well at the same time.
Well, Viola, have you ever heard of a fish farm? I mean, I've heard of a farm where there are animals, cows and chickens and stuff, okay, but a fish farm?
Fish farms.
For real?
Yeah, and it increases the contamination because now it's packed in an enclosed environment.
Yeah.
So all that fecal matter, and sometimes a lice, sea lice, burrows into the flesh of the fish. And then the fish oil comes from this environment. We take it into our system, all right? So therefore, eating fish may not be the best idea.
I'm agreeing, and I believe the audience is agreeing too. Okay, on this information. What does Ellen White, you know, she's one of our Christian authors, and she speaks a lot about the foods and stuff that's going on. And so what does she actually say about fish?
Well, she says quite a bit about fish. There's one powerful statement she said about fish. And of course, now those who are not familiar with this author, Ellen G. White, she is a prolific author, known to be inspired by God by millions of people around the world. According to the Library of Congress, the most translated author in the United States, second in the world. Wrote many volumes on health and healthy living, 5 major health books, by the way, Counsels on Health, Ministry of Healing, Counsels on Diets and Foods, Medical Ministry, and Temperance. Those are 5 major books on health, all right? One of those books she mentions about fish. Let's go to the screen at this time, and folks, let's hold on to your seat. It's called Filthy Fish. Quote, fish becomes so contaminated by the filth on which it feeds as to be a cause of disease. Counsels on Diets and Foods, page 394. So again, we got the fish oil that mostly comes from these farm-raised fish that's being fed, mackerel, sardines, catfish, with the fecal matter, sea lice, parasites, and that kind of thing. Then if you eat the fish, as that statement there says, it's so contaminated, because what happens is that a lot of people, they will go out and do the fishing, but not knowing that some of these fish feed on sometimes the sewage of the cities. Then they go out into the oceans, and people get the fish thinking that it's fresh water because it's not around the contamination, but not knowing that these fish sometimes are feeding on the sewage of cities nearby. And so therefore, you take in all that toxin waste, and you got the mercury, you got the PCB, you got all these dioxins, and fish contains also carcinogens, cholesterol, and saturated fat. All of that for omega-3 fatty acids. You know, in the medical profession, we have what we call the benefit to risk ratio. And we need to understand that sometimes something may not be as beneficial if the risk outweigh the benefits. And based on what has been said, the more we can say, simply there's more risk than what the benefits have to offer as far as getting omega-3 fatty acids.
Now I know while you're watching that and hearing what he's saying, you're saying to yourself, okay, enough of the fish. So what am I going to do now? What about, I can't do the oil, I can't do the fish. So what are the alternatives? Well,
and people, the omega-3 fatty acids, I mean, it's in all the clinical studies. I mean, breast cancer growth, inhibit of that, rheumatoid arthritis, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, of course, cardiovascular disease. I mean, so people still want those benefits.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times, about 40% of people now do not like the fish oil for 2 reasons. Because it's really slightly going downhill. Because number 1, the taste and the aftertaste. Number 2, the smell. But yet you still want the benefits from the omega-3 fatty acids. So what is there left? And don't want to eat the fish. So there's some alternatives without, we call this the fish-less fish oil, which is, there's a lot of things that has omega-3.
Yeah.
You have the canola oil, flaxseed oil, soy oil, soybean, tofu, and walnuts. Those have the omega-3 fatty acids, and you now even have in health food stores vegetarian omega-3 fatty acids that has the flaxseed oil already in them, and tend to have even more of the omega-3 fatty acids than the fish oil because of contamination of those fish in the fish farms. So that would be a safe bet going to that direction. You don't have the smell, you don't have the taste, you don't have the contaminants that the fish oil would bring based on those fish farms in the container there. So it's a good way of taking in those omega-3 fatty acids. You're getting all the benefits without the contamination of the fish oil or even eating fish itself.
Well, you said, what are they going to fix then about that? Since we talked about this fish issue.
I hope we're not having fish, are we?
Well, let me just say this. Whenever you do a program, I'm always trying to match a food item to match that.
Right, that's true.
And believe it or not, a friend of mine from the islands, actually quite a while back, gave me a recipe for a mocked fish.
Oh, okay.
Smells like, acts like, tastes like fish, but it's all plant-based. So guess what? Get your paper and your pencil and meet us in the kitchen. Now, speaking about fish, and I know there are people who say, I'm not going to, I really like the fish flavor.
I really like the fish.
And I like
Forget
the
about
taste.
the omega-3 fatty acids. I just like to eat fish.
So, we actually have a recipe that's going to be one that's going to actually kind of help satisfy that.
Oh, okay.
Let's look at the actual recipe. Fish, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of yellow split peas, 1 cup of instant oats, 3 garlic cloves chopped, 1 medium onion chopped, 2 stalks of celery chopped, 1 cup of parsley fresh, or 1 teaspoon of thyme, or 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 3 tablespoons of lime juice fresh, 2 tablespoons of kelp powder, 1/2 cup of coconut minced, or 1 2-ounce jar of pimentos, or 1 tablespoon of chives, and 3 tablespoons of canola oil.
Okay.
Now, I know they said
Fish
that's
in quotes.
that's a lot of stuff to go up in there. I know. But guess what? It tastes like fish.
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, so we're going to get started. Now, this
Got a
one
lot
is,
to do now.
yeah, it's quite a bit. Well, you're going to do big
What am I
chunks of
gonna do?
celery.
Oh, celery,
Okay.
okay.
Now, but before you do that, let me just say this. This is yellow split peas, and the yellow split peas actually has to go. It's 1 cup of yellow split peas. It actually goes into water. Cover it completely, and it sits overnight. It will then turn into almost 2 1/4 cups of the actual yellow split pea. In other words, it just kind of grows. It doesn't multiply. It just grows on you, okay? And so I've already done that so that, for expediency of time, so these are already ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting these in. And what Curtis is going to do is start getting the chunks of celery, just big chunks, honey,
Big
just
chunks,
big
honey?
chunks, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to put these in first. And I remember last time when we did this one time, and you said, "Is that corn?"
Yeah, now I can even say it looks like
I know
corn.
it looks like corn, but it's split peas.
Yeah.
I got this recipe from a friend of mine. As a matter of fact, we were in Washington visiting with
Oh,
someone.
that's the Metropolitan Church?
Yes, and the guy named Dream.
Yeah,
We stayed
I
with
remember.
that family, and that's enough. Just go
Oh,
ahead and
that's
put it on in here.
Okay, yeah.
And he had his aunt was the one who actually.
Oh, yes.
I'll do it with this.
Okay, honey.
His aunt is the one who actually started this recipe up, okay? Start it up, but you know how we always say, right? Start it, and we tweak it.
Tweak it a
Big
little
chunks
bit.
of onion now just coming in here,
Okay.
okay? And it's not in any specific order, but just want to get in. There you go, because the food process is going to break the rest of it down. That's enough. Just go ahead and put it on in there.
Okay. Onions there.
And that parsley.
Parsley. Just
Yep,
put it
just
in
go.
there?
No.
Oh, I
just,
need to chop it
just
up a little bit?
A little bit. 1, 2. Now put it in. That's
I
enough.
did 3.
Okay, 3.
Okay.
Put that on in there. Oh, it smells
Now,
good.
okay, now people may be watching this. Okay, this is going to be fish. Okay.
The thing that's so amazing is that most plant-based cooking, when you really see what it goes into making up the simulation of something that people might be used to eating, you're always like, that is not going to work. But yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my top on and then just go ahead on and get this started. Okay. I'm going to make sure now the name of the game is you want to get all those yellow peas down in there. So you just have to kind of work around a little bit here. Let's do it another time. Now, because we have so much other stuff going in there, what I want you to do is to go ahead and cut your lime in half.
Oh,
and that lime's
and
going to go in.
juice this?
Right. And we're going to juice that lime. And then I'm going to start putting in the rest of the ingredients. And you can see them over here. First is going to get that lime juice ready. And we're going to start by adding in, I'm going to do my oats. Then I'm going to put my chives in and our garlic in. Let's go ahead and start that up. Let's just go ahead and spin it in there.
This will make how many fish patties?
Oh, it make about at least 30, small ones.
Oh, okay.
It'll make fish sticks.
Oh,
It'll make
sticks.
fish cakes.
Fish cakes.
It will make
Oh, goodness.
a loaf. All that.
Fish loaf. Okay.
All that.
So this
all
can be
that.
very
And
versatile.
there's the secret to all of this, believe it or not, is going to be things like your parsley and the thyme and all that is actually going into this recipe itself. Let's go ahead and spin it around again. you see Curtis put that lime juice in there already. And from that lime juice, now remember this is our flavor now starting to come in. Now I'm going to begin to add in all the rest. Now, you know, if you notice, I said the word coconut. And you said, coconut? Oh, they have lost their mind. But let me say this. In order for this fish patty to have that flavor it needs to have, the coconut, believe it or not, goes in there so that when you bite into the patty, it gives the sense of the actual white portion meat of the fish.
Oh, okay.
Of the fish, okay? So we're going to put in number uno. Now, the thing that makes it actually really change over is going to be the kelp powder.
The kelp brings it out.
And then we're going to put in the, I'm going to do kelp. And then we got the thyme.
Okay.
And then we're going to put the coconut in. And we're going to put the salt in. And then lastly, look at that color. It's not quite what the color we need. So that's guess what? The pimentos is what kind of turns that kind of orangish color. Turn the color. It has the pieces in there. So let's finish this on up here.
Okay.
Now, Curtis, I want you to add into the other ones as I turn this on, okay?
All right.
Oh, let's not do the coconut because it might fall. Let's put that coconut in there.
Oh, now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because you don't want the coconut to go
Don't want the coconut to go all over the place. Okay, here we go.
The rest we can put.
All righty. The name of the game is to get that flavor. The flavor has to go in. And you know, when I make this up, let's say I've got people coming over to eat, I'll make this up a day in advance. So that it gives a chance for all the different goodies that's in there to actually match up with each other and have a good smell and good taste, all right?
Now, can you freeze this? Would it change the texture?
Once you make the patties up, you can then freeze them.
Okay.
But you can't freeze the mixture.
Yeah, but the patty after it's made.
Right. Here comes the pimentos, and here is the last part to this. All right.
Shall I be getting the skillet hot?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you, and I want them to see that. You see that texture? Look at that. Look at that.
Okay, it's changed.
Okay, it's changed. Okay.
Okay.
And that smell is there. That smell is there. Now you're going to take and put that into that large bowl for me.
Oh.
And while you do that, I want to go ahead and get the fire started.
Okay. Want all of this, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have omega-3 fatty acids. We have the benefits of it. We have the fish smell.
Smell like fish, doesn't it?
Without the cholesterol, without the saturated fat, without the other things that we mentioned as well.
And it's so good for you. And you can make so much out of it, okay? And now, you know, once this is done, Curtis, that not only then, once we actually make the patty themselves, then we're going to have to put it in the oven and let it bake in the oven for a few minutes. I use about 375. It will actually continue to cook the inside of the actual patty itself. That's enough for right now, honey.
Oh,
that's enough. You can. Okay.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and put the rest of this
Now,
in
this
there.
is the part in which I like, and that is I put a little bit of oil on my hands because I'm getting ready to make some fish cakes.
Fish cakes? Go for it, honey.
I guess you're not interested in making any fish cakes.
Well, see, you're by the stove, so yeah, it's going to be a long reach. You're doing a fine job. I'll just guide you, okay?
Look at that.
Yes. Nice, thick fish cakes.
Fish cakes, or like I said before, you
now
can
you
make...
do fish patties.
Well, the cakes and the patties are the same.
Yeah, okay.
But you see it's pliable.
Fish sticks.
It's pliable. You can make
Did
the
say
sticks
fish
out
stick?
of it.
Just
yes.
matter of just, the form.
Yes.
Okay. It's now
Okay.
sizzling.
And now we're going to just do one more because at the end of the program, they will see this fish come together. How about that?
Oh, okay.
You sure you don't want to make one?
You're doing just a wonderful job. Yes, I don't want to mess it up. You have a routine going on, baby.
I got a routine going on.
That's right. You got a system going on.
Okay.
That one's
Well,
mine right there.
I think that they get the point. And what I usually do is brown them on both sides. If I can get this from under here, we brown them on both sides, and then once you brown them on both sides, we actually put it in the oven, and then let it go in the oven for a few minutes, and then we want it to let you see what it looks like at the end. So just stay by. Well, we've got this taken care of. We've got that mock fish.
Mock fish.
Has the flavor of fish.
Has the flavor?
And, you know, fish goes real good with coleslaw.
Oh,
so
yes.
you have to have your coleslaw. And then you also have to have your tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce would be good for that as well. No cholesterol.
No cholesterol.
No saturated fat.
No saturated fat.
None of the other things that we mentioned in the program previously. We don't
All
have to go
clean.
through that again.
All clean, plant-based.
All clean. Omega-3 fatty acids.
Absolutely, it's there. It's
All right.
there, okay?
Now, what about a little sampling, honey? I know it's good, but
I had a feeling you were going to ask that question.
Just give me something. Oh, yes. Okay. Let me, if you feed me, then I'll feed you. How about that? Okay?
I'm going to watch you.
Well, let me feed you. There you go. All right, now I'll feed myself. Okay. Now, the coconut flavor gives you that
Can you believe
fresh
that?
texture.
The coconut.
And the kelp itself. Very good. Let me just put this under here. How about that?
Why are you trying to hide it?
No, it's good for the picture. All right. Well, it's been good. Now, again, the coleslaw, again, just simple coleslaw that you made here. No special ingredients. Okay, all right. Well, let's close out John 10:10. Jesus said.com, that they might have life and have it more abundantly. See you next time.